Have you ever wondered how to get into wedding videography? Well, today we'll be covering just that. What we'll be covering today is going to be essential gear, network and marketing, building a portfolio, and my setup for the actual day. As far as gear goes, the bare minimum I would recommend is 2 cameras. I would say the bare minimum is 10-bit 4K 60 for those 2 cameras would be amazing. Another thing I would suggest is a 24-70 that pretty much covers all your bases. To pair that camera that has the 24-70 on it, something that would be nice to accompany it would be a camera with a prime lens. If you are on a crop sensor, I would say something like either 23, 35, or 50. All would do good, depending on how tight you want to be. Moving on from the lenses, I would say also mics. The current mics that I use right now and that I'm using at the moment is, I'm lying, I'm not using that at the moment. I'm actually using the lav of a Tascam DR10, which is what I normally use, but right now I have it on the original Rode Wireless Pros, just because I don't want to sync up audio right now. But I do find that the DR10s are more reliable than the Rodes. The original Rodes, at least. The newer ones are amazing, I'm sure. So that's just a small caveat. The DR10s are a little cheaper now than when I bought them, so that is a plus. Only downside is, of course, you have to sync up your audio. Lighting is essential. But I'm being lit up right now, right here, as you can tell, by a Godox VL150. I also have a Godox 150 bicolor light. I forget the exact name of it. I think it's UL bicolor. 2 lights that I love, but I do find that sometimes I do need something a little stronger if I want to put a softbox on it. So I would recommend going for the Nanlite FS300B, the original version. The original version is only going for $239 right now on Amazon, as opposed to the version 2, which is going for $700. But it makes such a huge difference in your films, and your couple will appreciate it. This is a no-brainer, a tripod. Something that is so essential, and you'd think everybody would have one for their first wedding, but I don't think I had one for my first wedding. I had 2 gimbals, which was rough, but we made it work, and yeah. And that actually brings me to my next point, a gimbal. I don't think every videographer needs a gimbal, but for the style of shooting that I do, it is essential for me to have it at least for the first half of the day, leading up till the reception. Once I get to the reception, one of us does stay on a gimbal up until cake cutting and the bouquet toss. Afterwards, we both go handheld, because the movement of the camera in your hand just feels more natural for party shots. It just gives you more of an emotion. It's just a different feel once you go fully handheld. But I do also want to preface this by saying that I have friends that shoot fully handheld all day, other than like tripod shots for the ceremony, but their films are beautiful. And honestly, I wish I was a better handheld shooter myself. And I do think that the industry is kind of over gimbals, and we romanticize them for so long that it's kind of played out. But a gimbal will always serve its purpose, so don't overlook the gimbal either. So now that we have the gear out of the way, I want to talk to you about how I went about building my portfolio when I first started. When I first started, obviously I didn't have any weddings under my belt. So what I did was I offered to shoot my first wedding for a friend at a discount. And once I got that wedding, one of her friends wanted me to shoot her wedding as well. I got that wedding. I charged a little bit more. I charged $700 for that one. And then once I got that wedding, I started posting that wedding on my local Facebook groups for weddings. I believe the wedding group down here is called Louisiana Brides and Weddings, and that's where I started posting. And I was able to kind of grow my business until I kind of priced out of there. You can still find some people willing to book you at a higher rate. I think most people are looking on that group anywhere from like $500 to $2,500, and once you get to above $2,500, you kind of like slow down on booking people through there. But it is a great tool to have for when you are coming up and building your portfolio. As far as networking and marketing goes, of course you want to be posting on your Facebook, Instagram, and your website as much as possible. I'm horrible at this. I'm sure if I posted a lot more, I would be a lot more successful. And I'm very hypercritical of myself, and I do need to get better at it. It's horrible that I make content for other people, but I can't do it for myself, and it's so dumb. But yeah, that's one of the big things. I'd say number 2, and probably more important, or just as equally important, is once you start getting weddings that have planners, I would focus on making sure you make that planner happy and give them the best wedding film you can give them, because they take a lot of time to set up that wedding. If you want like another source of income and you want to keep learning about wedding videography, I would say don't be scared to second shoot for other people. Offer your services to people that you look up to in the industry, and yeah, that'll help you grow, because you're going to be able to be hands-on with the people you look up to, and you can see how they treat their brides, how they get their shots, how they handle certain situations, how they talk to their planner, how they take care of their planner. There's just so much invaluable information, and you're getting paid while you're learning. It's literally so insane. I still do it to this day. I'm not the most successful wedding videographer, but I do pretty well for myself. And if I see somebody in my local area that I really like their style, I'm not trying to go rip them off, but I do want to know, like, okay, what do you do? What is your process like? You know, how do you get your creative shots? Because it is tough getting creative shots the day of for your films. You're on a very tight schedule, you know, and you don't want to step on the photographer's toes and take away from their time trying to get creative shots as well. So it's just like creating a balance of that, plus you're creating another source of income as well. If they're happy with your services and your bride is happy with your services, they'll have you on a list, and they'll always recommend you to future brides, and they're just an invaluable source of income. So yeah, just treat your planners well and they'll treat you better. As far as the setup for my actual wedding day, how I shoot my wedding day is the first thing I do, as soon as I get there, I get their detail, which includes rings, flowers, jewelry, perfume, nice slow-mo shot of her finishing her makeup. You want her makeup finished, but you can get the artist to kind of fake it for a little bit, and then you get a nice shot of that. That shot isn't always used, but it's good to have. Then we move on to maybe like a shot of her and her bridesmaids in a PJ shot, or just hanging out if you're like more of a documentary style filmmaker for weddings. After that, we move on to her getting ready, maybe have her mom help her out putting her dress on, or her maid of honor if her mom isn't available or she doesn't want her mom for whatever reason. And then the next important thing would be setting up with the guys. So the guys would be getting ready. The guys are super quick, so it's just like putting the shoes on. His best man or his dad's helping him put the jacket on, adjusting the tie, a hug. After that, you want to get a group shot of him and his guys, maybe walking towards you, real slow-mo, like, you know, GQ-ish vibes. You get a nice wide shot of that, and then a tight shot of that. After that, I think the most important thing would be if they have a first look, we're gonna go in for that. And you know, when you're starting off, I don't want to say like lean on your photographer at all times, but when you're starting off, you're kind of trying to learn. That would be, I would, you know, let the photographer take the lead if you don't feel comfortable. But as the time goes on and you learn, you're posing and all this, like, you want to have a voice in your films. So you want to get certain shots. So now we're at the ceremony. How do I shoot my ceremonies? Well, I'm gonna put up an example right here as I explain it, but one of the important shots is you're gonna have a camera off to the side pointing directly at your bride. Usually I like to have the bride shot with a good depth of field, so I have either a good prime on there with the ND filter, or a 7200 on her somewhat tight, but not too tight. My second shooter will be on that, and I'll be in the middle with either a gimbal, or I'll be all the way back on a tripod, pointing directly at them, centered, depending on how the venue's set up, if we can even be in the aisle, stuff like that. If I do have a third camera, I'll have it just like the bride shot on the groom on the opposite side, exactly just like how you have it for the bride. My second shooter stays on a gimbal, and I go handheld, and then once bouquet toss, you can even get away with handheld for the cake and for the bouquet toss. One quick thing though, another light that I forgot to mention, I do have like a LED panel that I have just to have if I need to be mobile, but specifically for the cake cutting, you're gonna wanna have something like that, because you get told about cake cutting pretty short notice. So if you have it already set up there, ready to go, your photographer is gonna love you, and you're gonna love yourself, because the shot is gonna look good, and it's usually not in a well-lit area, so you're gonna need some sort of lighting. And on the dance floor, if you have only one light, like a Godox or an light, that's cool. But if you can have two lights and then you shoot from the opposite side on the dark side, everything looks amazing on the dance floor like that. And yeah, that pretty much covers like the whole day, man. I do want to say that wedding videography is very lucrative, and you can make a lot of money doing it, but don't get in it just for the money. Get in it because you love it, and if you want to just lightly shoot, second shoot for other people. And I just want to say about second shooting, like, put your heart in it if you're gonna do it. Don't just give your main shooter some sloppy film or some sloppy clips. Like, you really put your heart and soul into it. This is somebody's special day that they will look at for the rest of their lives and look back on and smile, and you'll be a part of their memory, you know. So if you feel like you could love wedding videography, please do it. If you don't, just don't do it. Don't even stress yourself on it. Don't even get burned out on it. But I do hope that you found some sort of inspiration, or maybe found a pathway to starting your own wedding video business through this video. And like I said, if you need any help, please let me know. If you have any questions, please let me know. If you need me to go in depth in anything, please let me know. Thank you. Please also please like this video, drop a comment. If you comment. If you got this far, comment RuneScape at the bottom, just cause, I don't know. I highly appreciate it, and if you could drop a like, I would highly appreciate that. If you could subscribe, that'd be awesome. And thank you so much for watching. Peace.